What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to do a setup on the new Fender standard Stratocaster single hum that I just got the other day that we did an unboxing of. For everybody in the back who doesn't pay attention, this is not a review. We are not reviewing this guitar, just like an unboxing is not a review. We just take it out of the box and look at it and make sure that it's all there and make sure that it's a relatively decent guitar and there's no issues with it, and there wasn't. There was one interesting thing that we'll get to here in a minute. I'll show you. But before I kind of do any evaluation on a guitar or review it, I go over the setup on it because setup is not part of quality control. And so we look at that. And one of the things along with that is all these guitars comes with 9s on them, and to me there's just no point in even trying to review a guitar with 9s on it. So I'm going to go ahead and put 10s on it. I've got a set of GHSs here that are sitting around from another test that we're doing for another video. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to throw these strings on this guitar, and then we're going to go through the setup on it because it's a 2-post tremolo. Squeaky toy dogs today. And we're going to go through the whole setup and see how it all is. And actually, while we have the strings off the guitar, I want to take the pickguard off and look in there. And as we do this, I'll just show you right now. Came in the box, the trem bar, the bag of wrenches, and an extra tremolo spring. And I noticed that even tuning the guitar to pitch with 9s on it, that it was pulling on the trem a lot. So I think I'm going to put that other string in there, or spring in there, and then we'll have to obviously adjust going to 10s. So we'll do that. Let me get these strings off, and let's look under this pickguard first before we get into any of this setup stuff. All right, so I got the strings off, and I'm just noticing here, that we've got 3. I mean, I just moved that spring over, but I'm going to go ahead and put 4 in here. Obviously, we're going to 10s, so we're going to need more spring, and I'm going to leave the back cover off because we may need to adjust it after we get the strings on the guitar. Now I'm going to go ahead and whip this. I mean, since we're here, we got to take all this junk off like so. And since we're here, let's go ahead and look underneath the pickguard and see what we have for parts. All right, so we've got a mix of things here. We got alpha pots. Those must be 250K, I'm assuming. And then we've got a Fender design that looks like Artec probably pickup there. And then we've got old school ceramic bar magnet, normal cheap guitar stuff. You know, it's cool. Those are going to get changed out. I'm sure they sound like a guitar. We'll find out when we do the review. 5-way switch, basic stuff. It is a guitar. Okay, so I put the strings on the guitar. Here they are. I've not trimmed them off yet because I've not stretched anything because I can't actually get it up to pitch yet because even with that 4th spring in there, we still need to tighten up that tremolo a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a long screwdriver and we're going to tighten up that tremolo. I'm not going to float this. We could do another video about floating a tremolo and how to do that. I've done that a few times. But on this guitar, I'm just going to leave it all the way flat. All right, this is my official snap-on trem tightening screwdriver. And I'm not going to be real precise about this. I just want to tighten it. And just see. All right, so let's just real quick check and make sure that will be tight enough. All right, and actually could stand to be just a touch tighter. If you tune the guitar and you get down here and then all of a sudden these strings are flat again, that means the tremolo is too loose and you're just lifting it. So for those of you that want to leave your trem flat, all right, let me stretch these strings and now we'll tune this thing up to pitch. All right, let's go on and check, now that we've got this thing kind of tuned up to pitch, let's check neck relief. Fret our first fret right there. Fret our last fret right here where we're kind of down there. I'm just going to do this by feel real quick. And then let's look at it with the feeler gauge. And we're probably going to be in the 5 range, 5 thousandths, something like that is probably where we want to be. Which is right there. Yeah. Awesome. If that was too loose, we would take our truss rod and we would tighten it up, and that would bring the center up. If it was too tight, we would loosen it, and that would bring the center down. It's interesting that when we put 10s on this guitar instead of 9s, that it actually acted better. I swear they just put 9s on there to be disposable, and the guitar's really meant to have 10s on it. That's my opinion, how they come from the factory. I've always noticed that about these, especially the import ones. And so this one, even though I don't have any experience with it, is no different. Okay, the next thing we need to do is let's check overall string height first. I just want to make sure that we're sort of within the ballpark here. Let me zero it. Now, 73 thousandths is high in my opinion, but that is also pretty much in spec for a Fender, really. So it actually came pretty well. This guitar did come pretty well set up, actually. Let's check this nut height real quick. 27, that's a little high. 25, I don't know. For factory settings, this is actually pretty good, to be honest with you. I've seen them all over the place. Yeah, so let's check these high E string. Yeah, man. So we're like 20, 23, 24, 25, 27 thousandths, which, you know, that's actually pretty good for I've seen Fenders, like American Fenders, in the 30s. So that's actually pretty good. I might go a little lower on the string height just because of how I like it. But the other thing we should do too, you know, maybe not. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. Maybe we just need to check our intonation. I'm gonna bring this string height down just a little bit. I like it a little lower than that. So, just because I can, because we are in control of our own destiny here, let's do it. Plus, one could argue that if you lowered the action down a little bit, it would alert you to any issues with fretwork and stuff. So we're just going to do that. I'm just going to lower this baby down just a little bit, see how good it is. We're going to go for somewhere around 65 thousandths, which I kind of like on a Strat. Just making sure that we keep our saddles even as we go. And yeah. The two top strings are pretty good as it is. All right. Now the next thing we need to do, now that we've got that sorted out, so the nut height was pretty good from the factory. String height was factory spec, but I like it a little bit lower. And then let's just check our intonation. We'll do that in playing position on a strap with the tuner. And then this guitar is going to be done. All right, so now I've got the guitar tuned to pitch. So let's just fret our 12th fret here. pretty good. All right, so that's going that way. So basically when you're facing the tuner with a right-handed guitar, if the tuner goes this way, then we bring the saddle this way. So that means we'll take our super screwdriver here. We'll just tighten this baby up just a little bit, like so. This thing's actually pretty close. All right, so going over the setup on this thing and looking at kind of how it came out of the box versus how it is after running through the setup, there's a couple of notes that I would make if you are interested in getting one of these guitars. One is going to be that extra spring that came in the package. I'm surprised that that came in the package, not in the guitar. That's a little weird. For those of you that don't have experience setting a guitar up, that's a bit interesting. So I added it straight away, okay? Because I went from a set of 9s that were on it to 10s. I want 10s on it to even test the guitar to begin with. Then when I put the 10s on it, everything was just kind of right. We made a couple of little string height adjustments, but honestly, it was in, 70 thousandths high is Fender spec, okay? I mean, they come like that. The nut was actually really good. The nut was actually very, in my opinion, for a factory Fender nut, very nice and low. The fretwork is good. It doesn't have a bunch of buzzes and stuff. The hardware is relatively good quality. I think this is a great guitar. I think for the, I paid with tax and everything, $566 for this at Sweetwater. So for a modern Strat, if you figure the classic vibe Squires are right around $5, depending on which one you get. So that's like a vintage style guitar, and then this is like a modern style guitar. Basically, that's kind of the difference. I think it's great. I want to put pickups in it. I haven't even played it. I haven't even plugged it in yet, but I already know just because who I am and what I do. But we'll do a full review on it and go over the electronics. What I want to do when we do the full review is really go over everything. I want to play it a little bit more, or want to play it a bunch, and really feel what these pickups sound like and feel like. I want to measure all the pickups and have that part of the actual review. And then a couple other little things I just want to check and measure and look at here. But overall, I think it's a solid guitar for $500, for $575 or whatever they cost. It came like I said, very well set up, except for that weird thing where the spring's not in here. That's a weird one. I'm going to give them that. I don't understand why you or I should have to deal with that, but that's just interesting. Other than that, I see no... Oh, you know what else I just noticed? These pickups are radiused like PRS Silver Sky pickups. That's quite interesting. They're not normal stagger, like a Fender stagger, like up, down, up, down, up, down. They're actually like radiused, like a Silver Sky. So yeah. Neck relief was good, so when you do a guitar setup, check your neck. First thing I would do is put the string weight that you want on the guitar. Otherwise, the setup doesn't even matter, especially on a Strat because it pulls the trem around. And then tighten it up to where when you tune the strings all the way down, nothing goes flat, okay? So that basically puts this guitar flat against the body. We could float it, but that's a whole nother video. So I just wanted it flat against the body. and then neck relief, string height within reason, check your nut, and then I would recheck string height because those kind of play together with each other. And then check intonation, and then I haven't checked pickup height yet. I'm gonna leave it the way it is because it looks pretty equal, and we're gonna go ahead and plug this thing in and start working on listening to sounds and stuff for our next video. So if you're gonna buy one of these, I think it's a great guitar. I think the neck feels fantastic. The fretboard feels fantastic. The size of the neck is awesome. It's a very good guitar. I understand why people aren't like totally smitten with it because it's just a functioning guitar, but it's good. It's good, and it came relatively well sorted. So, except that spring thing, that's really weird. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. I wanted to share this with you. Stay tuned because we're going to go deeper into this guitar. We're going to do a bunch of stuff with the electronics. Of course, we're going to do a whole playthrough and stuff and all that in another video. But then I want to probably put some pickups in it, maybe a loaded pickguard. I don't know. Let me know what else you think we should do with this guitar mod-wise as we go and play around with it, because it's fun. I got a black one on purpose so we could do all kinds of fun stuff and not have to worry about color. So anyway, thanks for hanging out. Do me a favor, like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.